Welcome back to a new video. Today I am working on the Mazda 3 with the 2.3 engine. I'm still looking for the noise that I keep on hearing inside when I'm inside driving. It sounds like it's on the driver's side suspension, but I checked the suspension before and I could not find anything that is worn out making a noise. So I ended up changing the transmission mount, which it was a little worn out, but not enough to make that noise that I hear. Normally, these are notorious, the sway bar links, for making a noise, and you feel it inside the cab pretty loud, pretty annoying. You feel like there's something really wrong with your suspension. It's just these sway bar links. But I tested it. Put this pry bar back down here, and I put pressure on it, and up here and put pressure on it. It doesn't make a clunking noise at all. I check the bushings on the lower control arm here and here. I pry on this here, try to see if maybe they make weird noises or movements, and they seem pretty normal. When I had the rim on, I try to wiggle the tire with my arms on the 3 and 9 position, and also 12 and 6 position to see if I get something to move. I didn't get anything. I also checked the lower control arm ball joint down here. This guy right here. I put a bar and I try to see if there's some movement, and nothing. So the only noise that I hear is on the axle, back and forth. That might be it. I'm not sure. I'm gonna change it anyways because there's grease everywhere. The grease boot is torn. I don't know if you can see it, but it's torn anyway. The other one too, the one on the other side, on the passenger side, is torn. There's grease everywhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and change it. Who knows, maybe that's the noise too. So there's two reasons why I gotta change it. Because I'm looking for a noise, and the boot is torn, so grease is everywhere, and see? So that's gonna go bad pretty soon. I don't want that to happen. Even though these cars, I repair them and I flip them, I wanna make sure they're pretty good condition for the next person that buys them. I'm gonna go ahead and get that done. So step number 1, after you raise the car, put a jack stand underneath, is to remove this nut. It's a 32 millimeter nut. It's also always a good idea to have somebody sitting inside, step on the brake while you turn this nut with your wrench or with your impact. If not, you can also put a pry bar like this, so that it touches the floor as you're turning it, something like this, so it's out of the way of the center, something like that. And you start turning the nut. Also, they have locking little tabs that people lock, bend in place, so they lock and stay in place. You can unbend them and then work on the nut, or just put pressure on the nut. It will come off regardless with enough pressure. So that's basically where I'm at. The nut is loose. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the nut, and then I'm gonna push the axle in, and hopefully it's not seized in place. I have a little impact here, but it's not working. My compressor's shot. That's a Harbor Freight. It's old and doesn't really build pressure anymore. So I did it with a pipe and a breaker bar. So that's where I'm at. I'm gonna continue moving forward and I'll show you. All right, I got the nut off, and you gotta hit the center of this in with the hammer and with a punch or something. It already started moving, so that's good. That means it's not seized in here. Sometimes you really gotta hit it hard enough, like hit it hard. Some people leave the nut on and they hit with the nut on the end, and they hit the nut so it doesn't damage the threads, because you don't want to damage the threads. But it doesn't really matter if you're replacing it. Just get it out. All right, the next step is we gotta work on that bolt right there for the lower ball joint. We're gonna go ahead and remove that bolt and then drop the lower control arm down. All right, guys, I got that bolt out. This side was 14 millimeter and this side was 15 millimeter. Pretty tight. Before I put it back, I'm gonna make sure that it's clean, and I have some anti-seize in it, so always a good idea. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and get that arm down. we have to disengage it from the knuckle from here. It's always a good idea to spray some PB Blaster. This stuff right here is pretty good. I'll leave a link in the description for that product if you want it, along with the parts that I use. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring the arm down, the lower control arm down with the bar. I'm gonna place it right in that hole. I'm gonna see if I can bring it down. If not, I'm gonna have to hit it with the hammer. One way or the other, I have to get it disengaged from the knuckle, from this part. All right, let me show you what's working. So I have it, I have the pry bar right there. I'm prying down on it, okay? But I need both hands, but that's what I'm doing. That's working for me, so it is coming out. I just gotta work on it. See it? Right there, okay. All right, once you pry the lower control arm completely disengaged from the knuckle, like so, now I'm gonna be able to push the axle out from the knuckle. So it's coming out. I'm gonna go ahead and push it completely out. I'll pull the knuckle with the brakes and everything towards me as I pull the axle out. Very simple. It does get tight. I mean, it's a tight space, but you're able to do it. I'll show you how. And there it is. The axle is completely disengaged from the knuckle. All I did was pull out on this as I was grabbing this with the other arm and just taking it out of the hole and moving it out of the way. So you need both hands. Hold this back with one hand and with the other one pull it out. And then take it out. It will come out. This swings out pretty, like a lot. Gives you enough space. All right. Now I'm gonna go ahead and pull it from the transmission. I'm gonna get underneath and I'm gonna use a pry bar. And way in there, I'm gonna go ahead and pop it out. In some cases, transmission fluid does come out of the tranny when you take this off because it breaks. It doesn't break the seal, but the axle seals. It has a seal, right, holding the oil in, and once you take the center out, which is the axle, it has nothing but a hole, so the oil will come out. It's always a good idea to have a pan just in case. Doesn't happen all the time, but just in case. All right, I'm underneath the car, and here's the axle. I'm gonna go ahead and put a pry bar right in there, and I'm gonna pry on that part, I'm gonna pry between that and the transmission. That's what I'm gonna do. You can also try just pulling on it, just grab it and pulling it. It works sometimes. I'm gonna go ahead and use a pry bar right there. So yeah, there's some oil coming down, guys. And what worked for me was a small little, well, not a small chisel. It's a chisel, a big chisel, a big pry bar, a chisel. Just place it right there where I was telling you guys, and just hit it with the hammer down here so it goes that way. Like you just pry on it, and it came right out. Okay. And yeah, oil came out. So I was right. Now we're gonna go ahead and remove this axle out of here and match it with the new one. More oil came out when I took the axle out. I was not ready for that much oil. The car is leaning. Oh, hi, beautiful. The car is leaning a lot. And yeah, I wasn't expecting that much oil. I made a mess. Anyway, here's the axle. Yep, let's go ahead and compare with the new one. I made a mess. Here you have it, guys. This is the parts that I order through Amazon. This is a good trusted brand. Good quality part. I got the one for the other side too. Here's the one for this side. Hopefully the boots are made of better quality. And hopefully it doesn't make a noise. I'm gonna go ahead and prepare this. Put some anti-seize on the knuckle so that we don't get it rusty like that. And that thing is done dripping, so I'm gonna just double check the seal, make sure it's in good shape. and replace my cardboard because I made a mess. But I got a new box here, so I'm all set. It's just the way I work, man. I love working on cardboards, but they get dirty and just crazy. I mean, better scenario would be with a lift, but I don't have a lift. So anyway, let's keep on moving forward. Like I said, guys, I'll leave the link in the description for the parts that I use. I try to get parts that have a good rating. You know, that customers say that they've used it and it was an exact part and that they used it for a while and there's no problem having the part. That usually gives me a small percentage as an affiliate, and it helps me out with my channel. So I appreciate you guys if you go through my link. If not, you can do your own search and get your own parts. But this is it. Let's move forward. I have a feeling that transmission was overfilled because it leaked a lot. Like, that's a lot of oil. I know there's leaves in there, but I wasn't ready. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna reuse that oil or anything like that, so I didn't care about the leaves. But that's a lot of oil. I think it was overfilled. I don't remember checking it since I bought it. Like, I know it had oil. I checked it when I went to purchase it, but I didn't look for the level when it was warm or anything like that. But they usually don't leak that much, especially when you have it tilted like that. It's a lot. I think it's like almost 10 inches from the ground. The jack is almost fully extended. Not a big deal. And they look the same to me, same length. You get a new nut. You see how this is different from that? That's probably for better quality, for maybe keeping the seal lubricated better, or to keep the oil from coming out. I don't know. That looks really good. If anybody knows what these are for, let me know. Make sure you clean the hole, get that rust out of there. That way, if you have to do this job again, this thing comes out easy. It doesn't seize up on you. Clean it and then put some anti-seize in there. And then before you put the axle, it's always a good idea to put some grease here where the seal sits. See, it sits right there. See the mark? So we're gonna go ahead and put some grease around here. And be very careful in installation. You can actually put grease in the whole thing if you want to, just to make sure it goes nice and smooth. You don't tear the seal, but then you'll have a leak. All right, I got that part in. Once you put it in, you lined up and you know you're straight, you start wiggling and forcing it until it eventually clicks in place. Now I gotta get this part in. I'll push this out and turn this in that direction, place it in the hole. See, like so. It's not in the hole yet, but it's ready to go in. And I'm just pulling on it like this. I'm gonna go ahead and wiggle it, make sure it gets inserted. Yep, so it's already in line, halfway in. Now I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up, bring this down the arm, and insert that pin. But before I do it, I'm gonna lubricate that pin with some anti-seize. All right, so there it is. Now I'm gonna go ahead and lower it and then push the knuckle in and then start letting go of this. So it's gonna go like this, right? I'm gonna push the other part in, the hole close by. I'm gonna line it up and then I'm gonna release it. As you can tell, it's lined up. Now I gotta just work it in. Sometimes it falls right in place. Sometimes you have to just wiggle everything together till it falls in. And it's in. Gotta make sure you can see through the hole. That means that it lined up pretty good. So you can insert the bolt, the pinch bolt. If you can't see the hole straight through, then you're not all the way in. All right, easy guys, simple. But remember, this is a whole combination of things. You gotta get the axle in further as you're pulling on this and bringing this down, as you're lining the pin of the bolt joint in. It's a whole bunch of things that gotta happen at the same time for it to fit. All right, let's go ahead and put the nut and make sure that it's nice and tight. before we put the tire back on. And we're gonna call this job done. Okay, the nut is done, nice and tight. And then I went and bent the edge of the nut like you're supposed to. That kind of helps, it locks it in place. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put the tire back on and take this thing for a ride, see if the noise went away. Regardless if the noise went away or not, it needed to be done. It needed to be done because we had grease everywhere. And what happened when the grease completely runs out of the joint, it eventually makes a noise, it breaks, and you're stranded on the side of the road. Now guys, as far as torque spec for the bolt of the ball joint and the nut, I don't have them. You can look for those online. Just Google it and you'll get those specs. I just make it as tight as it was. That's the way I work. Sometimes I do it with specs, sometimes I don't. But as long as it's tight, you're good to go. But that's just me, guys. That's not the right way to do it. You figure it out. And use a torque wrench, a good torque wrench. Anyway, go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and put the tire on and bring it for a spin, see if the noise went away. And I'll let you guys know and I'll end the video. All right, guys. I don't think the noise is fixed. Let's go ahead and go over that bump right there. Oh yeah, it's there. I hope you guys can hear it. It's weird. I don't know if you guys can pick it up on the mic, but I'm trying to go over a few times. It's weird. It's not that big of a noise, but I want to get rid of it. I don't like it. Anyway, guys, today we learned how to replace a CV joint axle and all the tools needed. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys watching. Link in the description for everything that I use. Thank you again if you used the link. And yeah, we didn't fix the noise, but we needed to replace that axle along with the other axle. I got to do a video on the other axle too. That thing is leaking grease too. Cheap parts, well, if you buy cheap parts, you know, they don't last long. Not that you have to get the most expensive one, but you know, look into the brand of the part that you're getting. All right, guys, thank you for watching again. Catch you in the next one.